I didn't know how to speak about my mum's suicide for a very long time, but since launching Alison Jayne in her name, I've learned that there's no rule book. Grief is a personal journey, and I feel like now I'm ready to share our story and explain the reason and the meaning behind the brand.
Step into your power, feel it rise. No more hiding, no more compromise.
Alison Jayne was my mum, and my mum was the most kind, caring, thoughtful, considerate woman. Like, if I am being anywhere near the mum that she was to me, I'm really proud of myself. But obviously there was problems, and this did end in suicide. So I wanted to go right back to the beginning and explain the whole thing. I've never done this before like this, and I just feel now's the time. For a lot of us, I think mums are special. Obviously there is situations where that isn't the case, but I was really lucky with my mum, and she was amazing. And I will insert clips on this video with holiday memories that we made, and she was just the life and soul of a party. She always had a smile on her face, as you can see, and yeah, she was just so special. And that's why I buried my feelings for so long. But because she was so special to me, I found it really hard to speak about. But obviously as I've got older, I've understood a little bit more than what I did when I was younger. So yeah, she was incredible. We went to Malta, we went on some really nice holidays. She was just there for me. It was just me and her. So yeah, we just had that bond, and that bond was special. And like I said, I want to be that mum to my daughters, and I feel like I've done that so far. But obviously me thinking of my mum, it's just, there was never a negative. She was brilliant. She didn't have a lot, but that was more than enough. Just her love was worth all of that. And I feel like, yeah, she was incredible. She was incredible. So a mum to me means protection, safety, love, unconditional. And she ticked all of them boxes. And like I said, I was one of the lucky ones that had that incredible relationship, and there was nothing that I would have changed. She was just amazing. And anybody who knew her, if you are watching this, like, all of the stories are good. Obviously people aren't perfect, and there is stuff that I will go into that were problematic, but obviously to me she was my mum. She was my hero. She was everything that I wanted. So home life for me was just me and my mum. She did the sole parenting, she did the school run every day, she went above and beyond. Everything was like, nothing was ever too much for her. She was just there, really present in my life. We had a really good relationship with my grandma and granddad. We did a lot with them, and home was happy for me. And that's why to this day now it still doesn't sit right, maybe because things were so happy. All the pictures that you've got, she just looks so happy and so content, and home was perfect. There's not a memory where I think, oh, that was like a big problem. There is little things obviously in every household, but there was nothing that stood out that made me think, oh, this is going to end up this way, or this was bothering her to the extent to do what she did. Yeah, we went, like I said, we went to Malta a few times. We had the best times. As you can see in these clips, like, she was a big child on the swings, on the seesaw, in the pool. She was just joyful and so happy to be around. And yeah, home was happy to me, and home was safe. And as I'll go into later, that changed. But yeah, I just can't, speaking about it just makes me so emotional, because I was just so lucky. I got so lucky when it came to having a mum the way that I did. So family dynamic for me was just me and my mum. My mum had a boyfriend who had children, and we all got on. It was fine. My grandma and grandma live around the corner. They had a brilliant relationship with my mum, especially my grandma. Like, they were like really close. Me and my grandma are still like that now. And yeah, it was I don't know what else to say other than it was a happy home. And then things started to turn. So I didn't realise it at the time, but as an adult looking back now, there was signs. I don't know if it was anything to do, but I noticed there was more drinking, there was parties, a lot of shouting. I don't really know, I can't really remember to that extent exactly what was going on, because I feel like that period of my life is quite blurred. But things did change, but again, not enough to notice that this was going to happen, what happened next. But yeah, again, I was never really impacted or affected by whatever was going on. And I commend my mum for that, because obviously she tried to keep me as safe as possible. And there's not anything that stands out that I think, right, that was it, that was why. The weekend that it happened was my friend's birthday, and we were supposed to go for a party on the Sunday. But I went to my nan's for the weekend on the Friday, and I was in the Albert Dock all day Sunday until I was about to go home to my mum. Now, I didn't realise at the time, but looking back, I remember that goodbye like it was yesterday. And in my mind, she already knew, because the goodbye was longer, the hug was tighter. But I was 9. I didn't know what any of this was. So I remember the day. I'd been to the Albert Dock in Liverpool, and I'd gone back to my auntie's house. I remember I bought a French phrase book because I was going to France with school, and I went back to my auntie's house, and I'll always remember she said to me, "We need you to fix a computer." I was 9, so I was a bit like, oh, okay. Like, so they had me on this PC, and obviously conversations were going on in another room. Then I was sat down and told that she'd passed away. I weren't told how or why. I was just told she'd passed away and I wasn't going to be going home. And that was disbelief that hit me in the face. I didn't want to acknowledge it. I just went, oh, okay, I'm going to go and get my stuff ready so I can get home to go to school. And he was like, no, you're not listening, you know. But yeah, shock, disbelief, complete lack of understanding, all hit me all at once. And it's a moment that I will remember forever. I don't even think that I cried for a while. It was just shock, absolute shock. And that was it. That was the turning point, I think, in my life. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, my life has never been the same since. It was never the same. And yeah, I adapted very quickly. But yeah, life as I knew it never ever came back. The feelings, the joy, everything had a cloud from then on. But again, I still at this point didn't know it was suicide, and that will be a story for later, because this happened many years after. For a long time, this story broke me, but now I realise it's given me the strength, and it is the meaning behind the brand Alison Jayne. It's not about loss for me anymore. It's about survival, and it's about turning pain into purpose. And if I can spread that through this brand, then I am making something so negative become such a positive. This whole journey inspired especially the healing collection, but it's going to inspire all the collections that come going forward. This is the niche that we want to help people. We want to use this story to empower. But tomorrow I will go into the details of stages of grief and how they affected me. But thank you so much for listening.